I really like catering movement for people. I like taking time. I like trying to make that person confident. And also I love when people are able like to trust that they can take risks.
Hello, I'm Eline Perez and you're listening to Are You an Artist? Today's episode is with Bea Bidault and we talk about dreams, dance and the creative process. I really love Bea's work, she's such a beautiful dancer and I'm very grateful to have her here. If this podcast resonates with you, you can support it via the link in the description. Thank you so much. Here is my conversation with Bea. Dear Bea, I remember coming to your dance class at Rambert about 5 years ago and really enjoying it. So when you were teaching at the place, I was so happy to see you again. Since then, I've also seen your dance piece Les Nuages and I felt really touched and inspired by it. You're a dance artist, movement director, and teacher. You've collaborated with many artists, so thank you so much for taking the time to be here. And the first question I ask in this podcast is, Bea, are you an artist?
Can I say yes?
Yes, you can.
And not justify myself.
I've also introduced you as a dance artist, so...
yeah, that is what I put in my bio. I think yes. Yeah. I don't know how to elaborate on that.
That's fine. I think yes is good.
Great.
What kind of child were you?
Me?
Yeah.
A bit dreamy. Like I had this teacher that said like, it's good to be in the clouds, actually, but always keep one foot on the ground. So I think like dance helped me a lot to ground myself a little bit more in like my body and my surroundings and people. Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw Les Nuages, I was like, oh my God, it's so dreamlike. I could really see you as being like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the piece like also touches or speaks about like what dreams are, you know? Because dreams are not only like something that you experience when you're asleep, but it's also like what we say of like hopes and wishing something, you know, you have a dream of something. So in that sense, it brings like all the imagination, you know, and when we imagine something, we process things like as we can do with remembering. So the process of like portraying yourself in the future is very similar to like how you tell the story of who you are with your past, you know. So I think like dreaming and like hopes and wishing, like all becomes like this way of becoming, and also like part of your identity, you know, is like the compass that brings you forward, like gives you like direction, actually, even if like you never succeed or like you never accomplish that dream, you know, that already like led you.
It moves you forward.
Yeah, it moves you forward.
Somewhere.
Yes, somewhere. So I find like fascinating. And also that dreaming and wishing like becomes like so much part of our reality, you know, like it's not the reality and like everything that is physical or like immediate to the present that is actually shaping our behavior, is also like this imaginary future and this imaginary quote. I don't know how to say this, but like
quoting with the fingers.
Eso exactamente. Yeah, so I think like this is why it's also like very dreamlike, you know, and like what also that those dreams, like how much weight they can carry. It can put like a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Don't we all know?
I read that you discovered your passion for dance in your early 20s.
Yeah. Yes. It was like a bit of like I don't know, tumultuous teenage years because of family things. Like my parents like divorced when I was like quite young, and then my father like went through a depression. Like my mother left as well. Then I was like living with my sister.
In Barcelona?
In Barcelona, like on our own then.
Wow.
And then my sister was also like struggling. It's not like that was like everything was dramatic. It's funny, like when you live things that are a little bit out of the norm, like they don't feel that they are out of the norm. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they feel it's just your reality, you know? So
Yeah.
you don't like second guess things. It's
Yeah.
just like when you are like, you have like a bit more perspective, you know, you're like, maybe, maybe that, you know? So it's like, yeah, particular, I guess. Like everyone's story is like particular in that sense,
But,
you know?
yeah.
But I think like that made that my parents were like not very much involved, you know,
Okay,
in
yeah.
like my decisions. Like I did the three. So in Spain we have bachillerato, which is like what you do before like getting into university, and you start and you start like specializing. So I started like doing the scientific branch, and then in the same year I swapped and I did like the more social humanities basically, and I finished the first year in humanities, and then the second year where you continue like this sort of like more specializing into something, I did like the artistic side, but I was drawing. So I was like doing
so
drawing.
interesting.
Yeah, and then I started uni, and I did business and management for a year.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So then I was like, I cannot do this. This is horrible. Like it didn't suit me. I was just like not interested at all. And then I had a very good friend that sang very well, and I love theater already. Like I don't know why. Like I felt very free on stage when I was doing like plays in my high school or like when I was younger. So I always wanted to like actually be an actress or like a film director.
An actress, okay.
Yeah, but I never pursue it, you know, like
Yeah.
I thought like maybe, I don't know, I just never did do it. So then I went to this school and they were doing like musical theater. So I decided, oh, like I'm gonna try this. So then in that same school they did also like a very small sort of like professional formation for people who wanted to become dancers, but it was like a neighborhood school. So it was like
also in Spain, in Barcelona.
Yeah, in Barcelona. And like all my teachers were like this eclectic group of old dancers. Because of like the dictatorship, like dance arrived very late, or like not, I guess like contemporary dance, or like even like hip hop and like street styles, like they came super late in Spain, which is like very interesting because you don't learn so much, or at least like because I was not in a conservatoire, I just didn't know any history. Like I just knew what these people would bring from like their experience in their lives. So I had like a teacher who taught Graham Horton, like he had done like musicals, Fosse, like in America, you know, and then he toured like South America, and that's what he was bringing. But like he was talking about like being very young in Spain and like being like persecuted by the police, you know, for
God.
like like so a lot of like dancers that there was like this big movement of if you were training in Spain, you would like try to leave Spain, and that's still the case. Like
that's so interesting because I grew up with the the dance TV series Un Dos Tres.
Yeah.
I grew up with that, and I thought, oh my god, they're all dancers there. Wow, so cool.
Not at all. It's so interesting. Like even like hip hop. Like when I started, like I did a bit of both, and I remember my teacher like he did like a lot of locking and popping, but also like he did mime and like. Because he studied with Jacques Lecoq School.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So like a lot of things like of like, animation. I think like I learned from, you know, it's like what that person would bring like in his body.
Yeah.
And I find like that like kind of beautiful, but it's so specific, you know. So
that's so interesting because I feel like you really have your unique style as well, and I'm wondering if it's also coming from this sort of like teaching that you got from very unique teachers in a way.
But I think like probably everyone has that.
Yeah, but I do think here it's quite. I mean, when I train here, I don't know if you did a BA here.
No, I just did my master's. Yes.
I feel like it's very kind of. Okay, I don't want to go into cliches, but it felt very factory-like. And they wanted to keep like these old techniques very pure when they were teaching it. So I couldn't really see the teacher's personal styles, apart from maybe the release technique, in which I would have different teachers who then will teach different ways of moving. But otherwise, it was very kind of, I don't know, categories and kind of boxes. And I found that I really missed this opportunity to understand how my body moves.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, that's
Because like I was like, oh, I have to say something about like because you say like I feel you have like a very unique movement style, but I think I draw a lot of inspiration from. I will talk first of like the people who inspired me, like, and I feel they have been like very present in my dance practice, which is like Lalia Iguade. And then Marina Mascarell as well. I think like she was like a very big influence. These are the two main people. And then I think more like about the theater aspects of things, or like intentions and things like also like Michael Keegan-Dolan as well. But for this piece and like in how I understand movement, like Max Revel has been massive. Yeah, massive inspiration and a great collaborator. Like I think if the movement language stands where it stands is definitely like thanks to him.
How did you meet him?
So we met like when we were touring together for Akram Khan.
Oh, yeah.
We did the Jungle Book. He was like there from like the beginning, like from the creation. So he was with them for years, and I think I joined like 1 year and a half before the end or something like that. And so we toured together for that part. And yeah, and I think like it was kind of immediate that I was like, oh, I really
love
like,
at first sight.
well, yeah, like I was like, oh, this guy is amazing. And like because he reminded me of like how much I loved popping and like hip hop as well, like because I ended up like doing like quite a bit. Like in Spain is very different from here, but like I was like part of a crew as well, and like we did competitions and like stuff.
Oh wow!
Like, yeah,
in Spain.
Yeah. We actually won something. Not, I mean, thanks to like the group. Like I was actually like never really good, by the way. Like I don't want to sound now that I was like this person. No. I wish I had been, but like it reminded me of all of that. So suddenly I was like super interested. Like I started like doing classes again of like popping. I went to take class with Sean like at dance space, and I was like practicing. And when I was on tour, I would like practice more as well. And I don't know, it really got like me very inspired and like wanting. I guess like I always want to get better. Like I love learning, but sometimes it's just hard because you have one body and just one, like the time that you have, you know. So it's like, where do you put your
Yeah. It's really interesting because was I listening to a podcast, but it was talking about when you're kind of more talented towards one thing, how also as a child in school you're kind of encouraged to work on what you're struggling with more than what you're good at. And then sometimes you can waste a lot of time trying to, I don't know, get things that naturally your body is just like, no, don't go there.
Yeah, that is so funny.
And I was thinking about that, about, how much am I trying to, I don't know, get to places where actually my body maybe can't even go there, you know?
Yeah, that is really true. Or maybe you would, you know, but it would take like a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And definitely like sometimes it's worth like taking that, you know, if that is the path that you want to take, I feel like.
And sometimes it kind of feels also really good to kind of
definitely
spend time and then really see how,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But so why did you decide to move to London?
Because I got admitted like in the masters, doing Edge. So after like being in Barcelona, I went to another school called, well, it's like a youth company called Cobos Mica, and it was like a really good school. I guess like we were not working like so many hours, but the people that they would bring, like the teachers, it felt like very international. Like we had like Jos Baker, like Sita Osteimer. We also did have like Guy Shamroni. We also have Maeva Barceló from Hofesh. People Los Innato, like partnering as well, like contact. We did like get like a lot of information actually for like how short it was, but I still didn't had like any sort of valid kind of degree, you know.
official
Yes, exactly.
diploma.
Yes, like through a conservatoire or anything. So a way to get that, because I think maybe it still is possible, but at the time like they could convalidate your experience. So your experience would like function as if you had been doing like already the BA.
Of course, which makes sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I really think so. So then I did the audition, and then I was in the waiting list, and then they offered me a place, and I was like, yes.
Which master was that? Performance?
Is Edge. So it was like the postgraduate company.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I said yes, because basically like because I wanted to get a degree, because I wanted to get like a master's.
And it's a 1 year one as well, no?
Yeah, I did like the 1 year with the postgraduate company, and then it took me like a long time to finish the actual dissertation.
What was it about? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember. It was about like looking through like John Berger's way of seeing like the artist, like whether it was like a primitive artist or not a primitive artist, and basically what did primitive artist mean and what connotation that had with dance. But also like regarding like other cultures, like how that has also always been like said as like derogatory or like diminishing. So I also read like Edward Said that like, spoke about it like on Orientalism, and I looked at specifically like at like Martha Graham and Isadora Duncan, and how, for example, like Martha Graham expansion, you know, was very linked to like the US way of like putting themselves in the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it became like very political, you know, and like her like taking a lot of inspiration from like some rituals in making Revelation. No, it's not. Oh my God, I forgot the name of that piece. No.
I mean, if you want to look it up.
It's okay. It's a very famous one. People will know, even if I don't remember the name. But like, yeah, like I think it's kind of controversial, but at the time it was not, you know. Like also Isadora Duncan, like taking inspiration from like exotic dance, you know, and also Martha Graham like took a lot, and like we don't regard, like I think like it would be regarded now as like very differently, you know. But it's like it's very hard like to look at that time and judge like how things were done. You know, we can only like what matters is like how we can see it now.
Yeah, it's so interesting because yesterday someone was like, "Oh, how's your dance going?" And I was like, "Oh, there are not many jobs, so like I had an audition on Saturday, but I'm not invited that often." And he was like, "Oh, is it different than before?" And I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't there, you know, 20 years ago. I don't know how the scene was because I wasn't there. I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend recently that was like, she's 65 years old, and she was, we met like in a workshop, and she was like, well, they're asking me like for show reels, and like, I don't have a show reel. And I was like, oh, bless you. And I was like, just send me like footage that you can ask for like from people you've been working, because like she's been like working, like she's brilliant, and I will make the show reel for you. You know what I mean?
Really
like
cool, yeah.
Because people don't understand that maybe there is like performance that they never engaged in the world this way. You know?
That is really interesting. I also interviewed here a dancer who is like gonna be 90 years old next year.
Amazing.
And I was trying to get like a video for the Instagram, and bless her, I was like, I'm sure she doesn't have any video of her dancing. She was like a ballerina. And then I saw her on, like her episode is out now, but I saw her yesterday, and she was like, "Oh, I made a collage with some photos," and I was like, "Oh wow."
That's very sweet.
Such a different words.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's crazy how things move quickly.
Um, do you remember if there was a turning point where you were like, oh, I really want to make dance my life in a way? If you had like this idea of maybe I can act, maybe I can.
No, I think like when I decided like I wanted to dance, I wanted to dance. Like, so I don't know, I just like had like a lot of determination. And because I guess like because I knew how much I could progress in 1 year, you know, like then I was like, if in 1 year I can already be here, like in 2 years I can be
There.
there.
Yeah.
And in 3, then there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I guess like that made me very, I guess like not confident. You know, like I was not a great dancer. I didn't have like very good conditions. I had to work like really hard, but it made me feel like it was possible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I just did it.
Such a good example for
Yeah.
dancers. So, like you work mostly in collaboration with people. How do you have like is it that you have an idea for a project and then you're like, oh, do you want to do this together, or how does it work for you? Do you have a
I think like collaboration is like I use it because I feel like I don't take everything from myself.
yeah
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not everything comes from me. And even like when it's like the conception of something and I am engaging with dancers and or with friends, I'm not in the studio on my own very often. You know, even if like when I was working at the beginning with Le Nuage, I didn't have money, so I developed like a solo version of this piece. Well, it's not it doesn't stand as the same piece. But like even when it was like this solo version, I would invite people in the studio to work with me because in developing like the movement language, I could understand better what it was that I was looking for
Yeah.
in other bodies
Yeah.
than my own.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I find really hard to like know what I'm looking for when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I admire that. If people can do that, I'm like, that is amazing.
It's hard to take some distance from watching also your body move, I find sometimes.
I find it very hard. I find really hard, like, I find really hard directing myself, like, as well. So this is why also, like, with Max, like, he would be directing the parts that I was in, you know, more. Or, like, we would record a lot. Like, every day we would record, like, so much. And then we would watch it.
And so did you have, like, a space to kind of work?
No, I had, like, different residencies, like, with other places. So we did have at some point like Ugly Duck, when Ugly Duck was still open, like they were supporting us.
Everybody told me about that.
Yeah. So we started there. Like sometimes the place would also like give us like some space. And then also like A&E Lab, they gave us like a couple of weeks of support, which was amazing, really.
And when you created it, did you have a sort of plan? Like, how do you work when you have let's say you have a week residency? Are you able to be like, okay, day 1, let's just try this, and day 2, or is it just more in the moment, spontaneous, and kind of
both?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I always come with a plan.
Yeah,
you know,
that's good.
I think it's always. I mean, in my experience, it's like always good to know that you can fall into like this plan.
Yeah.
You know, and even sometimes I even plan like the whole week, like very loosely. You know, but I have like an idea of like what do I want to achieve. You know, so that I don't get like super carried away. But then once I'm in the studio, my priorities might change, and I'm like, actually, let's get carried away.
Okay.
But sometimes, like, I know that there are things that are gonna take like a long time, and I know that it's gonna take like a lot of effort.
How
so
do you know
I
that?
prioritize that because I know that it's really hard. like the singing part in the
so beautiful. Montageline, for a little bit of context, we are speaking about a moment in Bea's piece, Les Nuages, in which there is a song Ne me quitte pas from Jacques Brel. Duh, I was like...
like that took a long time because Max is not French. So he had to learn.
And this is one of my favorite songs as well. I was
so
like,
beautiful.
oh.
I know. So nice. So like, bless him. Like he had to learn everything in French,
Yeah.
and then I made the harmonies. So
Yeah.
we had to also do the harmonies,
Yeah.
and then the movement on top, like, is so hard. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really hard. And then the last part, like when there is like this music that is like blah, blah, blah. That took like so long. Like that is like the thing that has taken, I think, the longest, because it's not musical, so it doesn't fall into a rhythm. It's just like random. Like all of the sounds are like coming at random moments, and they like overlap each other. And we were trying, like, the aim is like you only move with that sound, but you cannot anticipate, you know, and you cannot be late. You have to be on it. So you have to learn everything. You have to learn everything.
That is.
And it took us like so long. Like at some point, like he was like not fully believing in it, and like he would be like so getting frustrated, and I was like, let's do it again.
Stay with me.
like really, it was like we would do like seconds, but then like he would get like really excited, and like he would be like, oh, this is sick. Like let's.
I love that.
So
it's like super
like,
challenging, but then also.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was
And
so challenging.
I mean, the results you can really. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It was probably actually one of my favorite parts. Because also the I don't know, where it's, because it's a bit more towards the end. I don't know, where also it's just a perfect play. I don't know, to have it. It's just like, yeah. And I love the use of voice. I'm trying to learn to sing, which takes a long time because I'm not used to it. But yeah, anyone who can sing or anyone who can speak, I don't know, I'm like, it's so beautiful. It's such a part of the body that, yeah, it's a shame that we don't explore it more as dancers.
I really enjoy it. I do a lot. And I've been really lucky because in other work I have already been like singing a little bit. So, you know, you just get a bit confident, and then like it doesn't matter that your range is not as good, or like, you know, I mean, I try to practice as much as possible because I care about it, I guess.
Yeah.
But
how do you practice it? Do you take classes, or do you just
no,
exercise at home? And
I remember like a lot of the exercises that I did when I was like doing musical theater, actually, for that 1 year. And then like, I don't know how, like, but I ended up doing like different bits and bobs with like random workshop people. I remember like Lali once, like she uses voice a lot as well, but she was working with like this dancer that was doing like all these exercises with the voice, and I also enjoy that because I work with musicians, and Michael's work, like he uses and he sings a lot also in his work, so we always sing as well. And with the musicians, we all you know, like, so then it becomes like a part, like with Michael we do like these sort of like rituals, so it's like something we do before a show, like that we call a ritual. But like there is like a lot of like people in the company that also sing, like the dancers. So then like we would like just like start singing, and then with Becky we were also like exploring like voice and singing. So it became like part of my repertoire, I guess. I don't know, like something that I knew that I could do, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm a singer, you know, but I can perform it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really nice. I was really happy also like to make a piece and to say like, we're gonna sing here. Perfect.
Even now, I think you're working a bit in Barcelona sometimes, no?
Yeah.
In between like London and Barcelona.
Yeah, a little bit, yes.
Do you feel like it's different to work there than to work here?
Yeah, definitely.
In which way?
I think they're like their retribution, like economically, is not the same. I think it's just like the scene is different, you know. Like dance is younger there, so there is like less tradition.
Okay,
Like,
interesting.
yeah, there is like no Cunningham, or like at least I never seen any. Like a little bit of release like came, but everything feels a bit more I don't know. There is more floor work. There is more collaboration in between circus and dance, and
Do you feel
that
like it's a bit
is,
more experimental there?
I don't know, like what experimental means.
Yeah, I think yeah. So, for example, when I go to Brussels, I feel like the dance scene there is much more experimental in
Less than Brussels,
yeah,
I think.
yeah, but compared to London, in which
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if I go to the theater here, I mean maybe because also I feel like in Brussels I can go to like very small theaters and see like a very small piece a bit everywhere, you know what I mean? And here it's more like bigger stages, so it's a bit more
yeah,
I don't want to say commercial, but it's a bit more like bigger companies,
yeah,
work that I've seen before,
yeah,
very beautiful dancers, very polished, but a bit less. I'm going to take crazy risks and do this thing that nobody's done before.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
I think in Spain what is really big and that England doesn't have is that there is like a lot of like outdoors festivals. So there is like a lot of shows that are like just for
Out.
outdoors because
Yeah.
it's like where you get like more money and more gigs. It's really hard like to have like touring in theaters
Oh,
because
wow.
people wouldn't necessarily like go to see dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do they go to see? Theater?
Mainly,
Opera?
yes. No, theater, opera as well. But like, you know, in Barcelona, you would get like people in the theater to see dance. But
Yeah.
if you go like more on the,
To the south or like.
or like even like outside, like Catalonia, like you wouldn't, it's easier like to tour a piece that is meant for outdoors. Maybe here is the same, but like there is just like
But
big,
the weather is nice
big.
there as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Like in
exactly.
London.
Like people go, you know, and like people enjoy it. It's like a very cool thing as well because like the crowd feels very present and engaged, you know. So it's lovely. It is really nice.
You also work sometimes as a movement director. Have you worked as a movement director without being a performer?
Yeah, yeah,
How do you find that?
yeah. Really nice. I really like it. I think I really like catering movement for people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I like taking time. I like trying to make that person like confident, and also I love when people are able like to trust and like to take that they can take risks,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Even like when I teach like students, like I try, it's very similar to teaching.
Yeah, I
Actually,
was thinking about you
it's
teaching
very
actually
very
because that's
very
where also I've experienced like your work in a way that you take the time and you look at people and how they work with the material and it's I love having that because I think I'm quite a slow learner in a way that I do need time to digest new movements and to kind of like
yeah.
maybe first release my nervous system and then I'm able to take risks in a way. It takes me, I feel like it takes me maybe a bit longer than most people.
Yeah,
So it's really nice to have a teacher with.
yeah, yeah. I think I don't know. I have found that like very important in how I learned. But also if we don't take time, I feel sometimes we just keep on doing like the same, you know, or like we don't find new avenues, new ways of like solving things,
Yeah.
different rhythms, like listening to the music in a different way. Like there is always like so many possibilities. And like, well, now for example, I also like it's really cool because Max is always like looking for these things. But he also says, and I really like that like if you find something that is interesting, just repeat it. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to like repeat that. I'm like, "Ah, that is really nice as well, you know."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think like a combination of things, but I feel like taking time is something I really like because you always can find like more depth in what you're doing, I guess.
Yeah. So now, do you have inspirations and recommendations of artists you like? Can be books, can be films,
Yes.
can be.
I really like a company called Baro and they are like a contemporary circus company based in between France and Catalonia. And I think actually they are going to be coming to the Southbank, if I'm not mistaken, in October.
Ooh.
Yeah, they are really, really cool. I also loved a show called Dimanche, or the company was called Dimanche, actually.
What's
It's
it?
like a puppetry show. It was really good. I loved it as well. And what else? I don't know. I guess like I read and I see very different kinds of things. So I'm always like, whoa.
Do you have like, I don't know, obsessions? Like, I don't know. So, for example, at the moment, I'm a bit obsessed. I discovered this kind of podcast with like, it's in French and with like lots of scientists being interviewed and saying random stuff. Like, I don't know, elephants being drunk by eating rotten fruits or things like that. And I don't know, I suddenly found this new obsession
Yeah.
of random facts. Do you have that as well?
Yeah, yes, definitely. I listen to a lot of also like podcasts with like different people talking about like mad stuff. I find like really interesting. Like I read like a bit about like physics
Oh,
because I
wow.
really like them. Yeah, I really enjoy it, or philosophy. Um, yeah, and I don't know. Right now, I'm interested in finding metaphors for movement. Don't know if that makes sense, but like that movement can be like a metaphor for something. I don't know how well to explain it. I guess it is. I think like Le Nuage is a bit like that, you know. It's quite kind of like metaphor. Like for example, like there is like this duet where like we are both like clasping our hands.
Yeah.
So we have like a loop, and like our hands are like completely blocking, like actually like the possibility of hugging each other. Really, you know.
Yeah.
So even if you're like trying to relate to this person, you're also like having a boundary,
Yeah.
and also like this boundary becomes like the resistance in between us. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So it's very much like
Yeah.
when you have certain boundaries, like in meeting someone, and you're not fully open,
Yeah.
and you're keeping to yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you want like to be connecting.
Yeah.
But there is like this barrier.
I think
you know?
relationships are so interesting.
Yeah, they are
Any
very interesting.
relationship, like family, dating, like
Yeah,
friends, and
definitely.
like and how people handle it differently. You know, like people who need a lot of space, and the people who really need to be into the person. And
Yeah.
and when you see someone who really craves like touch and contact, and like being with someone who is like avoiding those things, and then it's like just witnessing it, you're like, wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
You're like, I remember when you were teaching, and I could see it a bit in the Nuage. Your movement looks very much like underwater. Is that also something that you're interested in? This kind of like underwater thing, and
I think it became part of the vocabulary of the piece.
yeah,
Like we've done like now, or we're working on. We did like a sharing of like this thing with Max. We were creating together, and we did this version of a duet called One Without, and actually it's like something completely different. We are doing like audience participation. It's like funny. It's just very different, but it's super interesting. So, and that piece, it has like its own unique vocabulary.
that's
you know,
different. Yeah,
that is very different from the piece that
interesting.
I just did. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like I am interested like in so many things, but
Yeah.
it's so cool to find like a special, or like not a special, but like body language that fits that piece, and it has its purpose.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like becoming more water-like or like cloud-like, like more airy, like made so much sense.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And for someone like to be more human, and you know, it's like, is this person real? Is this person the projection that I have, or like who am I dealing with now?
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
or is it me? Am I trying to like become this person's dream?
That
you
is
know?
so interesting. It's the same. Back to the very beginning of this recording of like imagination, and also how much of the kind of reality, or what we call reality, is also us making up things.
Yeah.
of like who we are, who the person is, and what happened, and
Yeah. A lot. Yeah.
Random questions of the end. What makes you laugh?
Max. I don't think he's gonna be listening to this.
I really need to interview
It's
him
like,
now.
yeah, he's great. So funny. He's really funny, honestly. Yeah, I think like I laugh a lot in the studio, to be fair. So I feel very lucky because I have a lot of fun doing what I do.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you like to go to the supermarket?
Actually, yes. Weird.
Do you have like a favorite one?
Not really. I think like I have like Too Good to Go.
Okay.
And because I live in Bermondsey, it's very good.
Oh,
So,
yeah, good place to have it, actually.
yeah, I love like getting like greengrocers, like Too Good to Go. Like you don't know what you're gonna get, you know. So yesterday I had to do like a apple crumble because I had like so many apples.
That's my problem. I did it once, but then I just had like so many potatoes, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even like potatoes that
Oh
much.
no. But I also have, there is like a fishmongers and like they also do Too Good to Go.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, so like the other day I had mussels. I was like, I would never buy mussels, but I was like so excited like to use mussels, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that is really fun. Yeah.
What do you think about talent?
I was gonna say that is not enough.
A lot of people respond that.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I think like talent is great. I think everyone has talent, you know. It's great to nurture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could have a parallel life, so you have your life but you have an extra life, what would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah.
What would I do? I think I was very tempted to say just the same. So happy. I don't know, like, I think, like, I don't know if a parallel life, but at some point, probably I would love to be a little bit more settled and have like a garden and take care of things that feel also very grounded. Like, not to be traveling so much, I guess, would be one thing, and not in a city. Be more in touch with nature, sing more. I don't know. It's things that I think I can still do, you know.
Yeah.
But even if like at some point I would like study something else, like physics, I would love, even if it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, I don't know. I think like just being surprised by like what comes as well, because life is kind of surprising. Yeah.
If you could have dinner with anyone, alive or dead, who would it be?
Oh, that's really hard. I hate that I cannot prepare for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Very hard. There's like so many people that I would love. I think like right now, like Chloe Zhao, I would like to have like dinner with her and chat with her. I think she did like a very beautiful job in Hamnet. And the way that she worked, it feels very inspiring in a way. So I would
Sorry,
be
who's
really
that?
curious. Chloe Zhao is the film director.
Ah.
And she directed Hamnet.
Ah.
And Nomadland as well. I think it's called like that. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. Very cool way of directing people and understanding cinema and this link in between dreams and life. This is why I really like her, because when I was doing the piece I was like all like thinking about like all of these things, and then suddenly like when I saw Hamlet I was like, that's crazy, and I started like listening to her podcast, and like yeah, like the way that she talks about like dreams and being connected to reality, like I was like, wow, very, I don't know, aligned, I guess.
Any dream for the future?
To tour my piece.
Well,
Yes.
it's out there. If
Yeah.
anyone here has fundings.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think that is what I want in the short term. Yes. in the long term, I think just keep on making. I love it. Keep on collaborating with different people, engage with different kinds of the other dancers. It's just like money is so limited, so you feel very restricted to like how many people you can engage with and for what. So one right now. So it's like, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thanks.
your time.
Thank you. It was really nice.